Yeah. And then walk by. Oh, dude. Oh, man. There's no cover. There's just explosive. Oh! I hear hit markers. He's in a world of hurt, man. He's dead. I don't even think he landed a damn shot. By the way, this is the part of the stream where maybe I disappoint you. We're taking a much-needed vacation next week. I will not be live. There will be YouTube videos, but I will not be live next week. We're going to get out and enjoy some fun in the sun to celebrate, not having really had a vacation for like 2.5 years, but also me not being dead. So I'd really love if you guys could sign off on the PTO. If you guys could just give me the time off. I know I used a lot of my sick days this year, but I'm hoping that you'll find it in your heart to approve this one as well. Plus, it's July, man. Nobody gets anything done in July anyway. From Memorial Day to Labor Day, that's like a quarter of the year, and like 10% of the economic output of the world happens then. I still maintain that from American Thanksgiving until like the second Monday in January, that's also like 10% of the year and like 1% of the economic output of a nation's GDP happens during that period. So I actually think like 80% of the work that gets done annually gets done between the second week of January and like the first week of May. I gotta say, I don't want to insult Alaska, but I thought that people from Texas were annoying when talking about the size of their state. Holy cow. Got on a tour in Alaska. They said, hey, anybody from Texas on the tour today? 175 people put up their hands and threw up the Texas Longhorns sign and said, hook 'em. And they were easy to spot because they were all wearing University of Texas football gear or University of Texas A&M football gear every single day. I don't understand that I've never been on a cruise before, but apparently when you go on a cruise, that's 7 days long, you pack your 7 best college football pieces of merchandise, and especially if you have any sweatshirts that tell you who won a Super Bowl in the last 10 years, I've saw so many Buccaneers hoodies, so many Baltimore. I don't think the Ravens haven't won a Super Bowl in like 10 years. I was seeing tons of them. It was crazy. I don't really know what was going on. Anyway, they said, who here is from Texas? 1,000 people put up their hands. And then the Alaskan tour guide said, hey, Texas, you guys have a cute state. If you put Texas inside of Alaska, it wouldn't even touch the sides or something like that. And then I was like, that's funny. I like to see Texas get owned a little bit. But then we were walking through like all these tourist trap areas of the town. They've all got shirts that are like, it shows a map of Alaska and then it has like Texas inside of Alaska. And it's like, hey, Texas, nice state you got there. And I'm like, holy cow. It's just like, it's like the only thing they talked about apart from, how beautiful like the landscape was and the mountains and the wildlife and stuff like that. They were like, just check out how big our state is. Like, for example, did you know that first off, even though the cruise left from Vancouver, they never asked if anybody was from Canada. And everybody on the cruise, as soon as we departed from Canada, from Vancouver, they were all talking shit. They're from like Park City, Colorado. They were like, I was downtown and I saw a guy sleeping in a sleeping bag on the sidewalk. That's crazy. I was scared. And I'm like, listen, you're American. You're scared of a guy that's asleep on the sidewalk? We're still in city limits here. At least wait till we cross like the Bering Strait or something like that until you start talking shit about... They didn't think anybody on the cruise was from the place where the cruise left. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. Alaska. Let's get started here. I don't have anything rude to say about Alaska because I feel like we went to 3 cities in Alaska, right? One of them was Skagway, Alaska. It's literally just like a pioneer village.
Good morning.
Good morning. We're in Skagway. This is the one of the cruise ship that's huge. There's another cruise ship that's huge, and then there's another cruise ship that's huge. And then there's like the landslide that's also huge. Yeah, another ship.
Skagway, Alaska, population 862.
Yeah, I think any of these ships have more than 800.
Yes. I would like to apologize to the people of Skagway for what the tourists probably do to their city every summer.
Spending a lot of money,
Yeah.
buying a lot of fridge magnets.
But leaving a lot of Werther's Originals packages all over the ground, I'm sure. I mean nothing but positive stuff for the noble people of Skagway, Alaska, and their burgeoning gimmick T-shirt enterprises. And
You were laughing at all the stuff that you couldn't
so
even find
many
in
great
Vancouver.
shirts.
What was your favorite?
I'm all moose asleep was a good one. Moose caboose, and then the moose is on your you know what,
What?
where the sun don't shine. I don't want to use swear words in this video. I don't know who's gonna see it. I'm barely awake.
All they have are t-shirt stores that sell the same like 8 t-shirts that are all, and you can buy these in Canada too. This is not just a US thing, but they'll have like a picture of a moose on them and it'll say like I moose be dreaming cuz I'm in Alaska, or they'll have a picture of a bear and it'll be like I'm barely awake right now or something like that. Like my wife got me a pair of socks. I actually asked her to get me these socks cuz I just thought they were funny. It's a pair of socks it's like the way that a boomer texts. Like every half sentence is broken up by a picture or an emoji. It was like, someone I love very much, heart, went to Alaska, orca emoji, and bought me narwhal emoji, these socks, star emoji. And I was like, let's go. Though I was wearing those. I'm gonna wear those tomorrow, but I'm not. You're never gonna see them. But I'm gonna wear them with shorts, and I'm gonna pull them up real high. So Skagway, Alaska has a population of 870 people, and I'm pretty sure the ship we were on had like 4,500. So I just want to apologize if anything, I want to apologize to the city of Skagway, because I'm sure that if you work in the tourism industry, it's like one of those things that's like a necessary evil. Like they were like, we love when the tourists come to town, and I'm like, I bet you do and you don't. Because there was literally like, this was a town where there was a train tour we went on, and at the end of the train tour, the train literally just stops on Main Street and lets 2,000 people off of it. So like if you had to get to work or something like that, then like, I'm sorry, I hope you made it past the train, because there's no way around. The thing is like 15 miles long. Like it's crazy. And I also want to say, and this is again not a knock on Skagway, every single business except for one that was like, come learn about how many people died during the gold rush, was basically just selling the same t-shirts and souvenir goods over and over. Then we went to Juneau, Alaska, the capital city, and I gotta say, Juneau sucked, and it's not Juneau's fault. Juneau sucked because it's an actual city where people live and are like doing their jobs and living their lives and buying groceries and stuff like that. It's an actual place where people are making an existence for themselves. So as a tourist, we went whale watching, which was really cool.
Can you see anything?
I saw like the blowhole.
That's it?
Saw a whale's blowhole.
But you have the binocular.
Well, yeah, they don't see underwater.
But the city itself, I was like, ooh, concrete buildings. Like, where's all the ones that look like it's the damn Wild West and stuff like that? Where's the 1,700 jewelry stores on the same block telling me like I can come in and buy a diamond necklace for $50, even though that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, like economically speaking. Then we went to Ketchikan, Alaska, and it's the city where I had the most fun. It's the salmon capital of the world. I don't want to brag. Did I eat salmon there? I ate a little salmon in the vicinity for sure. I also, and I apologize, this is a bit of a rehearsed joke, but I swear to you this happened. I'm 33 years old. I have gray ear hair, and I got carded buying a 6-pack of beer in Alaska, which raises a lot of questions about how hard the living situation is in Alaska. Because I don't think I've been carded since I was like 27, 28, and even then I think it was like, you know, an act of charity. But this lady, she was like, I'm gonna need to see some ID, and then this is how Canadian I am, especially when I'm on vacation. I pulled out my ID and I said, I'm sorry, I'm from British Columbia. And then she just looked at the ID for like, I don't know, like 30, 45 seconds. And then she said, where's your birth date on this? And embarrassingly, I was like, I don't know. Like, I've never had to look at the birth date on my own driver's license. It's never come up. I just, like, I know how old I am. Anyway, she sold it to me, which was nice. But I didn't think of myself as a cruise sort of guy. But I think especially, like, wait, I was talking about it with Kate at breakfast this morning. We had to wake up for breakfast at like 5:45 a.m. to disembark from the ship at like 8:30. When you're a kid and I think you go on vacation, you're like, oh, we're doing like cool stuff. You know, we're going, like people were going like dog sledding. People were going on like a helicopter tour of the fjords and stuff like that. As someone who has like a really young baby, it was just really nice to like not have to cook or clean at all. Again, I'm not saying like, oh, it's so impossible to like, you know, have a young baby, especially just one kid. But like every meal you're like, I gotta cook something for me. I gotta cook something for the baby. I gotta clean my dishes. I gotta clean the baby's dishes. While we're cleaning the baby's dishes, someone's gotta be watching the baby, blah, blah, blah. It's like some of the stuff we did, like the tours, the train, the whale watching, like that was all cool. But the best part of the cruise for sure was people being like I was almost brought to tears. People were like, let me feed you. I mean, you paid us a lot of money, but you know, let me feed you. And then when you're done eating, you don't even have to go to the sink immediately and like rinse the dishes. We'll just take them away. And then we'll bring you more food. Ah! What the hell? It's a damn golden gift. Yeah, honestly, it was really fun. I thought I would come back and be like, you know, I don't really understand like the cruise culture. And don't get me wrong, saw a lot of stuff where I was like, I mean, there's just people out there that have like no manners, man. Just cut it, like literally you'll be in like a line of like 75 people. And then someone will just walk up to the front of the line and be like, you know, hey, I want that thing. And they're like, yeah, there's a line. And they're like, oh, okay. And then while they go back to the line, but like while you're in the line, you can hear people, like they always think they have like the whole, they know better than like the people that are staff how to do everything. Oh, I would never do it like this. This is ridiculous. How come we can't even get our luggage before we go eat lunch? I'm like, because they're putting 7,500 suitcases onto a boat right now. It's not going to be back in port for a week. And then they gotta deliver it to 7,500 separate rooms. And if it shows up like a minute late, you're gonna lose your damn. That's why it takes a while, because there's a lot of people on the damn ship. The main anecdote I have is that how is it possible that people can be like 75 years old and not know how a buffet works? Like a buffet is like a roundabout. You get in at the entrance, you grab like a tray and a plate. And then you go through the items in order, and you go, every station is a choice. Do I want this or don't I want this? Do I want this or don't I want this? Like you just say yes or no to everything. You get a little zoop and then you put it on the plate. So many times you'd be going through the buffet and then you would see somebody, they would just grab a plate and then they would perpendicularly intersect the buffet line and just take like chicken tenders. And I'm like, you don't understand. You don't just go, I want this thing, I'm gonna block the flow of traffic. You look It's like merging onto the highway. There will be like a gap between a party. You sidle into the gap. You wait for somebody to put some rice pilaf onto their plate, and then you get to the fries, and then you can't just be like, but I just want the fries. I just want the fries. Why would I waste my time going like here? There's an order to things. That's what you do. Okay, we've spotted somebody who wears a Super Bowl champion hoodie to the formal dinner on the second day of the cruise, and that's fine. You know, I'm not that into the dress code or whatever. I'm just saying.
It looks like I'm doing like a first-person date with Northernlion, because you don't see me.
The video that.
Yeah, you don't see me. You only see like. I should sell this.
VR experience.
Yeah, VR experience. But what are you gonna say to the?
It's a lot. I don't think I'm that great of a date. I think it's a lot of pressure, honestly. The experience being condescended to in real time.
Isn't it more efficient to not wait? No, it's more efficient for you not to wait. It's less efficient for the 20 people that have been waiting nicely and doing things the right way, that are trying to get to the French fries. Plus, you're not even supposed to be at the French fries. Oh no. You're 75 years old. I'm supposed to be at the French fries. I got a 2-year-old kid, and like the only thing she'll eat during the whole cruise is chocolate chip muffins and French fries. So like this is like basically like a medical emergency for me to get to the front. Before we left for the ship, I had her well trained. I said, "What do you want to eat on the ship?" She said, "Fish." I said, "That's great. We're gonna eat a lot of fish on the ship. You can have fish every day if you want." First day, I read her the dinner menu. I say, "What do you want to eat tonight?" She says, "Mini hamburger." I say, "Okay." Well, she didn't say mini hamburger. Like, she didn't read the menu. Like, she repeated after me. Got her a mini hamburger. Only ate the French fries. Rest of the cruise, she only ate French fries, chocolate chip muffins. She ate a little bit of a corn dog last night. And did I say chocolate chip muffins? Occasionally, she would sample a little bit of the bread service, and she drank probably 1.5 liters of chocolate milk a day. And like, that's how you know you're on culinary copium. I was like, well, at least she's drinking a lot of chocolate milk. Like, it could be worse. Is that healthy with all the carbs and whatnot? No, it's probably like the worst engineered diet you could ever imagine, especially for a growing baby. But, you know, she was very overwhelmed by being on the cruise and by seeing so many people, and you know, and this is another thing. I'm not saying this is all Americans, okay? I don't want this to just be like, because not everybody I saw on the cruise was American, I'm sure. Like, not everybody was wearing the college football gear of their alma mater from somewhere between 5 and 45 years ago. But I don't know what possesses, I guess it's the curse of having a cute baby. But we would take our baby out for like an hour-long walk just throughout the ship every day so she could get a nap. Even when she was sleeping, and maybe other parents can relate to this, even when she was sleeping, everybody we saw that saw the baby would be like, "Y'all got a cute baby. Oh, she's out like a light." And we're like, "Yeah, she's out like shut the hell up. We gotta, like, she's sleeping." I don't understand. Like, I don't think I told this anecdote, but I was like, I don't think I own the streets, okay? Like, I don't think that it's my world and everybody else is just living in it. But I was walking my baby for a nap. This is like 2 weeks ago now. And I was just walking like around the park. And then a wedding party drove by. You only get married 1 to 8 times in your life, depending on, you know, whether you're an actor, right? I'm not worried about the wedding party making noise. That's a special day. But for absolutely no reason, this dude who was parked on the street directly next to, oh my God, this is good. Directly next to where I was walking the baby in her stroller, was like in his car and just started honking the horn and waving at the wedding party. Like, hey, I see you, you're having a special day, I see you. And I was looking at him like, have you lost your mind? Like, you're actually like 60 years old. And you're like, I see a special day, I'm gonna make like an insane amount of noise. Anyway, hey, get out of the car. He's happy and he's honking. He's not happy. This is like when you see, you know, like a car accident and you like rubberneck it, you know? He's making it about him by honking his horn. He's making the wedding. It's not like when you're in the limo, you're like, oh, good, people are honking for me. When you're in the limo, you're like, okay, now I gotta wave to this asshole who honked. Okay, congrats. Like, you saw our limousine. Like, this is why I just, you know, I just drove the damn Focus home. I didn't even think we owned a car. We probably took a taxi home from our marriage. Oh, planetarium? You shouldn't have. Okay, we'll just re-roll that one. Look, not all of my takes are based. Some of them are like completely biased by having a baby, which is, you know, both fair and unfair. I'm not saying you should be quiet in public at all times because someone around you might have a baby. All I'm saying is if you see a sleeping baby, like on a cruise ship, maybe don't shout because you're 7 daiquiris deep at 10:15 a.m. Hey, what a cute baby! Do they have a casino? No, it was a family. It's a family show. But we did cross some cruise ships that had, I could see the slots in their windows. There was no arcade either, but there was some cool stuff, like good restaurants and also a daycare. There was a little section where like only kids can go, but then they have open hours where everybody on the ship can go. So I took, we took the baby there during the open hours to see if like she would enjoy it. She did not have a good time, but they had a cruise ship driving simulator, like Microsoft Flight Simulator, but for a cruise ship. I was having a damn blast. I don't want to brag, but I got, on the hardest rank, I got a perfect score navigating my cruise ship through icebergs. And the icebergs were mighty close. I don't want to offend any Titanic enjoyers, like people who are into the actual history, not just the movie, of course, but how did the Titanic hit the iceberg? You're not going that, like the ship that we were on had a top speed of like 27 nautical miles per hour. It's like the speed that like a marathon runner travels for 4 hours straight. Like it takes 30 minutes to turn. Can't they just shovel the coal into the engine faster? Whip the wheel around or so? Why? Was it like they saw the iceberg and then they were like, we got to turn, but we don't have time? I think it was a drunk driving situation. That's what I'm trying to say. I think there was some criminal negligence there. There was fog. Yeah, that was the... sometimes you forget you're not, like, in a hotel. You're actually on a boat. Like, the second day we went up for breakfast... We're walking across the deck. Our daughter's having a great time. Like the 100 decibel foghorn with no warning just comes up. She's like running backwards like into our legs and screaming. And then the staff comes up to us and is like, you guys might want to get inside. Well, there's inclement weather. The captain has to repeat that every 2 minutes. Holy cow. Excuse me, Captain, I don't know if you know this, but we're on vacation right now. Could you knock that shit off? Every 2 minutes? Don't you have like radar or something like that? Like, I don't understand. Like planes don't have to do that shit when you're flying through a cloud. You can fly through a cloud for like 10 hours straight. They're never like, they have air traffic control. Do they not have water traffic control or something? Small boats might not. Honestly, if you're like kayaking in the Pacific Ocean in the fog, you kind of reap what you sow. Sorry. I'm just saying, if you don't want to get freaking swamped by a 90 gigaton cruise ship, then stop trying to interrupt my vacation with these foghorns, okay? It's like, I mean, this thing was not cheap. It's for the small boats. If they were performing an act that has an industrial purpose, then if they're fishermen, I don't want a perfect storm situation. I certainly don't want a Captain Phillips situation. I'm not flaming, I'm just saying. What cruise line was it? I don't want to tell you that because it's private information, but would it narrow it down if I said it was playing A Part of Your World by, you know, from The Little Mermaid 24/7? And my daughter got her picture taken with Spider-Man? It was cute. We had to get our picture taken with Spider-Man because she kept. Well, and she was like, there were times during the cruise when she's not happy, which is, I think, normal for a 21-month-old baby in a unfamiliar situation like that. But I got to calm her down by like teaching her how to do the Spider-Man impression. So I would go like, what does Spider-Man do? And she'd go, tss, tss. She'd go like that. So then on the last day, they had a little Spider-Man meet and greet. So we had her go meet Spider-Man. And then as soon as she saw, the guy's got like, he's like, if you're a Disney cruise like character, you're the master of small talk. You got like, they were doing speeches that were like so rehearsed. Hey, nice dress. You know, it was a dress like that. My friend Dottie. Yeah, my friend Dottie, she used to live with, I bet you've seen her if you've ever seen her. Anyway. So they have like all this information, right? That they just rattle off. We go talk to Spider-Man. Spider-Man starts to do his spiel. 1 second into the spiel, she just goes, psst, Spider-Man. Hits him in the face with his own virtual web shooter. Threw him completely off his game. He was like, whoa, I see that you're already training. Hey, you guys want to get your photo taken? I was like, let's go. I don't want to brag as well. I think I might be like a character in a few people's cruise ship story. Like, the baby was not loving the buffet because there's a lot of people and they're not always well-mannered. So, like, past the first day, I would get on the elevator, go up to the buffet, grab, like, all the food for the whole family, and then take it down in the elevator so we could eat it in our room, okay? So, like, day 4, I had a few hash browns, bunch of bacon, chocolate chip muffins, croissants, Mickey Mouse waffles and stuff like that. I get in the elevator, goes down 1 floor. Dad and his family get on. He says, wow, that breakfast looks good. I said, it's for another adult and a baby. He says, no problem. I've had a few breakfasts like that myself, so even if there wasn't a baby, it's okay. I said, that's good because I made up the stuff about the baby. And then, I swear, it's like a warm audience, right? Everyone on the cruise is already having fun, so they're ready to laugh. And they were cracking up. I'm sure they probably told that story again like 2 times. They're like, remember that guy in the elevator today? Oh, man. And then when we did this, like, photo thing where our baby could get her photo taken with all these, like, Disney princesses. And I was doing... Kate was in the photo because I was wearing a shirt that said Ketchikan Salmon Capital of the World because I ran out of laundry. So I didn't want to be in the photo. Well, no, she didn't want me to be in the photo because she was dressed nicely. Anyway, so I was doing the videography, right? And while I was filming it on Kate's camera, I said, we've been on this cruise for 6 days, so I'm really hoping she's a bit better behaved in these photos. But enough about my wife. I hope the baby does well, too. And the woman who was taking the photos started laughing. And I said, do you like that one? And she said, yeah, that was pretty good. You got a chuckle out of me. I was like, well, what can I say? Hoping she's a bit better behaved for these photos. It's been 6 days, 7 days. But enough about Kate. I'm sure the baby will be fine. Okay. That's a little joke I had rehearsed for the start of this. It's a good one? Yeah, okay. I was kind of on, man. And also, I was blending in with Americans so well. Like one day, this was another buffet elevator story. It was the first day we were in Alaska. I was on the elevator, and then an older guy got in right after me, and he said, what's the temperature today? They said low 50s, and I said, it's going to get as low as 47. And he went like, wow, that's cold. I was like, I don't know what the fuck 47 means. But he thought I was, even though I wasn't wearing a University of Miami at Ohio sweatshirt, he thought I was one of them. I'm an honorary American now. 47 is almost freezing. I know, I'm familiar with 32, okay? I gotta say I was kind of, I'm not saying I was the star of the cruise, but I was kind of cracking it up. I'm sure the staff probably appreciated that I was like one of the only adults on the ship who wasn't singing every time they recognized the song, which was every 3 seconds because all of the songs they play are the most recognizable Disney songs of all time. So they're probably like, at least this guy brought some original material. Holy cow. What did the baby think of the drawing dinner? Yo, we got a certified Disney Cabana vacation member here.
That's right. Oh, that's us. That's us. We're next to Ryan. Here is Ryan's.
Honestly, I was impressed by how well I drew.
Your legs. Oh, I guess it works. Yeah.
The only thing I messed up, what happened here?
Oh, like your neck. You're like
I think my neck is okay. I'm looking at my left armpit.
your left armpit.
Yeah, why is it so? It's
Oh,
like a,
it's
a shoulder.
indentation.
I got an extra shoulder.
I see. I thought you were talking about your neck.
What's wrong with my neck? Daddy's right here.
And then this is me trying to salvage my daughters, because she drew like all the Rin
I thought
on
they
it.
might not put it up because it was.
Yeah,
it was
going
violent,
over the line, but it worked. Yeah. And then this is me drawing my daughter, or tried to draw my daughter, but it was really hard. But yay.
So one of the dinners, you draw a self-portrait, and then they put it into some kind of scanner, and then they animate it on a big screen in the middle of on the edges of the restaurant for everybody. It was cool. How did she like it? She liked it about the same as all the other dinners, which is to say, she liked it as long as there was like unlimited chocolate milk at the table. Why so many old people? Dude, honestly, I'm not knocking the old people. I think it's just pleasant. Like, if you're already the kind of person that would like go on a trip, and then like when you got to the hotel, you would only leave the hotel to like do one museum tour and then eat dinner. That's basically what it is. Like, you're just laying in bed for like half an hour, then you go eat like some breakfast, then you go like, I don't know, watch like a 45-minute long family-friendly stage show. Then you go eat lunch at a buffet, I might add, at a buffet. And then you like, go take a little 90-minute duck boat tour of Ketchikan, Alaska, go eat dinner, and then go to bed. It's just eating and swaying. I saw someone ask, did you get seasick? This is me being honest with you, but also hopefully a little funny. I think I might have like nautical blood, because I didn't get seasick at all, and most of the time I couldn't even feel the boat swaying. But there were people that were definitely getting nauseous. Kate was telling me like, "Oh, did you feel that? Did you feel that?" And I was like, "Nah." I'm like, if anything, I took a shower when we got home, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I got my land legs. I got my sea legs. I don't know if I got my land legs." I honestly think to you it might be toe walking. Because like I stand on the balls of my feet, I think it leaves like my calves are there to like counterbalance the sway. Whereas people who have their heels on the ground, they're like locked in. Cruise ships barely move. Oh, I don't know, man. We were pitching like crazy. A couple people went overboard. I'm just kidding. Anyway, let's run one more. I had fun with that one. I will also say, it went by like so fast. Like the first day when you're just at sea, you're like, what? Why is this taking so long? By like the last couple of days, you're like, holy cow, I can't believe it's over already. I'm stunned that I had an amazing time. But when I filled out the comment card, I was hitting the excellence for like everything, and I was not even being ironic. But you also know that in the gig economy, it takes a lot for me to not give an excellent. If I'm not going to give a 5-star, I'd rather abstain. So all of the staff I interacted with, I gave them 5 stars across the board. The only thing I gave low stars to was the experience of the onboard Wi-Fi, because I didn't use it because it was $90 for a 1 gigabyte. I was like, that's horrible. I'm obviously not going to pay $90 per gigabyte. Are you crazy? It's horrendous. Like but then we got a text that was like, "Hey, you've entered international waters," and I was like, "I don't know about that. Your current data roaming charge is $15 per megabyte," and I was like, "Damn, dude, I gotta get like that $90 a gigabyte plan going here. I don't know, $15 a meg. Could send like a $20,000 tweet if I add a gift to it or something." I honestly had a great time. I'm choosing not to think about the environmental impact that the cruise ship has and reminding myself that it probably would have sailed even without me. I'm also hoping that I don't get... I mean, like, I'm feeling better than I felt in 8 weeks, legitimately, and I continue to get better on the... I would say I'm feeling, like, 100% after the course of antibiotics and also the, you know, a week of eating way more than I should. But, a lot of people definitely on the last day, I was starting to get a little misanthropic again. Like, day 3, I was like, I love everybody. Everybody's cool. And then, like, day 7, there were people that were, like, they're 6 inches away from the sign that says, please put on your masks before disembarking from the ship. They have their mask in their hand, but they're just, like, dry heaving, coughing in their hands. And I'm like, you couldn't just put it on. Like, just, you're gonna put it on in, like, a step anyway. You couldn't have just put it on earlier. Disney Cruise Line is the most environmentally conscious you could have gone on. You know what? I'm choosing to believe that. I also loved, like, again, I know cruises are horrendous for the environment. Obviously, I'm not trying to deny that, but I was laughing when you're in, like, the bathroom. It's like, hey, we're partnered with, like, something for environmental support. So if you could please reuse your towels as many times as possible. And I was like, yeah, that would do it. Sure, that they're dumping, like, a metric ton of human shit 2 miles offshore from, like, a fishing town that has 300 people in it, and but at least I only used 2 towels for 7 days. So, like, at least it's no big deal. Yeah, directly into a coral reef with, like, at-risk Chilean sea bass in it and stuff like that. It's like fish poop, though? Well, yeah, but, like, what are they gonna do? It's not like they're gonna put it on land. Like, it's kind of, you know, we're bringing our poop to them. It's like it's an away game. I don't expect the fish to poop anywhere else. Also, I do have to say, I don't think I'm gonna get a recurrence of my salmonella and Campylobacter because, and this is literally my one complaint about the cruise, and I understand why they do it, they won't cook your meat medium or medium rare or lower. I couldn't even get my favorite dish, chicken sashimi, which I love to eat, especially in early June. But even I had the whole week I was looking at the menu, right, for this last dinner, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get the beef Wellington. You don't get that many opportunities to get beef Wellington. I'm gonna get the beef Wellington. Our waiter comes over, gives us his recommendations, which were on point for the whole cruise, even though I'm sure they're, like, reading off a script or something. And I said, the beef Wellington was notably absent. I said, do you recommend the beef Wellington? He said, it's good, but we have to cook it at least to medium. I said, oh. And then I thought for 2 seconds, and I said, I'll have the beef Wellington. And then it came out, and it wasn't medium. It was well done. And it was still pretty good, but it was mostly the pastry and the mushroom filling. But I get it. It's probably because they don't want people to get dysentery on the ship, which is, I mean, it's a pretty first world problem, but I get it's hard to cook beef Wellington, especially you're on a freaking ship in the middle of the ocean. I also thought that they would, like, come back to Vancouver and they would have to, like, restock for a little bit. But literally, as we were getting off the boat, like, the Disney Corporation was like, we're done with you. I don't want to play with you anymore. Like, get the hell out of here. We were, like, passing people that were in line to get on the ship that we had just been on, like, 15 minutes earlier. I'm like, how do they... This is actually, like, a logistical miracle. How do you keep this thing running? It's crazy. They said they're selling, or not selling, but just serving 9,000 cups of coffee a day. They're cracking 5,000 eggs for breakfast every morning. Like, how the hell do you? And you don't. They literally go to port for like 10 hours, and then they're like, yeah, we're good to go again. It's crazy, man. People who turn those ships over are freaking cracked. Dude, I feel like our housekeeping staff clean. We have a baby, and they cleaned our whole room in like 45 seconds. Like, it's incredible. Wonder how much liquor they go through. I would say a lot. It's definitely... There's no doubt about that. A ton. I would say a staggering amount, probably. That's good. You know what? And Kate and I both came up with this independently. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Passengers. It's not very good, right? In fact, it's worse than not very good. It's kind of troubling. You know, Chris Pratt wakes up on a star cruiser to like seed human life to another inhabitable planet. He's supposed to be in cryosleep for like 80 years and then wake up for the last 6 months of the journey or something like that. Instead, he wakes up super early because like something malfunctioned, and then he gets horny and he's like, who's the biggest hottie that's still asleep on this damn ship that I could like damn to be my spouse for 80 years and then die on the fucking ship. Anyway, he ends up waking up Jennifer Lawrence because come on. And, you know, they get into some fights about it, but eventually they like reconcile and they like make a life together on the ship or whatever. But regardless, Kate and I both were like, remember in Passengers how like they, you know, wake up and they're drinking all the liquor and they're eating all the food? Like that food was supposed to last like 500 people 3 months. But instead, there's 2 people just eating that shit for like 75 years. Like all these people are going to wake up and there's going to be like no food and water left on the damn ship. Or they're going to be on like gruel rations or something like that. And they'll be like, oh, don't worry. Chris Pratt ate 85,000 servings of lobster bisque while you were asleep. I guess, to be fair, because they woke up, they did manage to save the ship from, like, having there was something wrong with his radiation shielding or something. So they did save all their lives, but, like, still. I mean, they spent a lot of money on that. I'd probably be pissed. Anyway, I'm sure they go through a lot of alcohol. Because the Disney Cruise Line Corporation has perfected the art of making you spend money, or, well, let me rephrase, incentivizing you to spend money without feeling like you're spending money. You know, it's not all-inclusive. Alcoholic beverages are extra. But they're like, hey, do you want, like, a cocktail? It's an additional fee, but like if you just tell me you want it, I'll just bring it to you, and you won't even know how much it costs until like the invoice arrives in a week. Or if you're at like a bar or a restaurant, and you're like, hey, can I get a Comstock Michigan Two-Hearted Ale? They'll say, yeah, sure. You say, how much is that? They say, don't worry about it. Just scan your room key right here. And you're like, what the hell? That's like basically free. Two-Hearted is Bell's Brewery. It is. Hey, you're absolutely right. I mean, I asked for an IPA. They brought me a Two-Hearted Ale. I'd never had it before. I said, this is an incredible beer. Then I looked it up online, and people said this is an incredible beer, and I was like, still got it. Still. Then I texted a photo of it to Dan, and I said, have you ever heard of this? And he said, that's what all the normies around me drink. And I was like, still got it. Wasn't like I had a Michelob Ultra and was like, this is the nectar of the gods. The palate is still there. Never, never, ever. My stepbrother got so drunk on a cruise they took away his drinking privileges. I sort of got the vibe that, like, on this cruise, you're treated like royalty. But if you cross the line, they would throw you in, like, a windowless cell until the end of the voyage. Like, if you just behave like a normal person and you don't cause problems, they're like, we basically are going to treat you like a god because you paid money for this. But if you, like, this is the damn ocean, so if you're causing, like, actual safety hazards, like, we do have the ability to throw you in prison. Or, like, leave you in Ketchikan, Alaska or something like that. I also, and I said this to Kate as well, this one, it might have a narrow sort of window for people to get this punchline, but we both remarked, maybe day 2 or day 3 or something like that, and we were like, you know what? Being on this cruise, where you're treated like royalty, is actually just like the North American version of being a customer at literally any store in Japan. Like, we were treated well on the cruise. And I don't think that the staff were like, oh, we really like this guy. Like, I know that it's, like, it's part of the game. And when the server was like, please make sure you fill out the comment card, and if there's anything I could do to make your service more excellent, let me know before you do. And I was like, I get it, buddy. Don't worry. I'm going to give you 5 stars, okay? You're getting Nothing went wrong. You're getting 5 stars the whole way, okay? I'm not going to give you 4 stars and be like, oh, I like my waiter, but the beef Wellington was only well done. Like, I'm not, that's ridiculous. I'm not wearing a college football sweater. I don't think I need to be treated like royalty like that. But I was also like, you're spending all this money and is basically like literally just being at a 7-Eleven in Japan. Like, they treat you... In North America, you kind of, and I like it. Like, I'm a hostage to, like, I kind of enjoy a store that treats you like shit. Like all those restaurants in America where they're like angry that you're there and they call you fat if you order like fried pickles and stuff like that. Like, I'm kind of into that. But to get this experience of like great customer service, you can either pay a ton of money to go on a cruise ship where they're incentivized to treat you like royalty, or you could just go to Japan and you could like buy like a soda at a convenience store, and you'll get the same experience either way. Are you saying that's a good thing? No, it's just it's an observation. You know, it was nice to be treated nicely by staff, but I was also, I mean, I'm the kind of person, when I go to like a restaurant or like a store and the staff are disinterested with me and they act like annoyed that I'm there, I'm like, I'd probably be annoyed too. This is like, it's probably like the 50th shirt that I've sold today to like people that I don't even know. And I'm sure you get in, because I saw people just ask like the same questions over and over. And they're unfamiliar with the situation, but it gets annoying, right? People are like, oh, is this the line for the bathroom? And they're like, no, the bathroom's downstairs. And then like answer that question like 1,000 times a day with a smile on your face. And I can see why you'd be like, you'd look at me with like a withering glance when I come over and I'm about to ask you the same question, right? I will also say the average age of the people on the cruise was not like 70. It was like 67. No, there was a lot of like parents with like young kids. Because it's a cruise that's, Disney focused, right? Also, maybe this is getting too close to home for some people. Why are... okay, I gotta be careful with how I word this. If you're a couple with no kids and you're on vacation, why do you sound so stressed out? Like, so many couples we saw, they would just be like walking, and then the guy would be like, hey, where's my camera? And she'd be like, I told you it's in the bag, Gavin. And you're like, why don't you, like, you're just two adults. You're one guy with a backpack and a lady with a purse, and you're like, you're stressed out that you're on a boat that's not going anywhere anyway. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm not saying only people with kids can be stressed out. I'm just like, you don't even have like that extra degree of difficulty. You should just be like having cocktails and playing bingo right now, like enjoying life or something like that. Instead, you're like walking past the photo studio being like, oh, do you have the passport? On my cruise ship in 2019, someone literally, this is not funny. Someone literally died and we missed our port of call for one of the days. I will say, I don't want to like work on a cruise ship, but I do think that after you disembark, they should send you like an email that's like, here's all the shit that went down that you were not aware of. It should be like, 25 people had like acute dysentery. There was an assault in one of the lounges after you were asleep for several hours. Like, I would love to, and I would be like, damn, this staff is incredible, because I had no idea that any of that shit was going down at all. You guys are amazing. Like, when we went, when you disembark, they give you, you walk past the table that says confiscated items. There were like 2 soccer balls on it, and then like 50 knives. I didn't see a single knife on the whole cruise. So I gotta say that I think the cruise staff were doing a great job, because, there's knife people. Several of you are probably a knife person. You're like, I know they said no weapons, but my knife does not leave my sight. I choose to not think about that whenever I'm in a crowded public place. I know they said, please leave your weapons here, but this isn't a weapon. This is if somebody needs some clamshell plastic opened up to get to their DVD of The Mummy Returns. That's why I have this, okay? But there were like so many knives in the confiscated goods section. I was like, everything I saw, I was like, I have a ton of respect for this staff. which is why I was getting so annoyed that everybody, like whenever you had to do anything that wasn't eat or drink, people were just like, why do they do it like this? Why don't they do it like this? I don't know, like, dude who's been retired for 17 years, but I'm guessing that they probably, like, know what they're doing because they do. It's an incredible feat of both engineering and logistics, and they've been doing it for, like, 30 years. So, like, maybe just you being in line and having a casual observation as, like, as a patron doesn't give you all the answers for, like, well, why don't they just have us line up over here instead? I don't know, because maybe that's where, like, people that they have mobility concerns have to, like, be wheeled through or something like that. It's not just a place for you to go stand because you don't like standing next to people who are wearing a jersey of the rival school of your college alma mater that you graduated from 37 years ago. Like, it's just, not everything's, like, for you. In order to create this fun experience for you, there's, like, a lot of other shit that has to, they got trays and stuff. They got medical supplies coming on. There's 2,000 staff. Josh, I gotta say, I think you would be a good. I don't want to call them cruisers, right? Like, what is someone that goes on a lot of cruises? Either way, I think you would love being on cruises, Josh. Retiree. There was a fair amount of people that were on the older side of old. There were also, and I don't want to make this an American versus the rest of the world sort of thing, okay? But, like, there were a lot of people on the cruise who were like, hey, it's 5:45. Do you guys have a table for 27? Like, people who took literally, like two middle-aged, this is insanely good, holy cow. Like, two middle-aged adults, one set of their parents, so like a set of grandparents, and then, like, there's 7 children that are in range of ages from, like, 18 months to 18 years. That, I don't know. Like, I feel like at the end of that, you almost need, like, a vacation from your vacation. That's just madness. But is there something sweet about that? I wouldn't disagree. But also, I feel like if I went on, like, a vacation like that, I would, like, well, the kids are a different story. But if I went on a vacation like that with my parents, I would be like, we'll meet for dinner every night. And I love my parents, don't get me wrong. This is just the vibe. We'll meet for dinner every night, and the rest of maybe we'll have some excursions together. Maybe we'll go on a fan boat tour of the fish ladder in Ketchikan, Alaska or whatever. But otherwise, we'll meet at dinner every night. We'll have a nice dinner together. We'll all go to bed at 8:30. Tell me about the fish ladder. So there's in Ketchikan, Alaska, they built concrete steps for the salmon to spawn, which increases their spawn rate by 50%, in case you were interested. I mean, I gotta be honest, like, there was, it's Ketchikan, Alaska, there wasn't, like, a whole lot of stuff where you'd be like, oh, did you know, like, a UFO landed here or something? Did you know Mozart was born here? They were like, we got a concrete staircase that fish go up. I learned some interesting stuff about Ketchikan, Alaska. For example, they have 5 chain restaurants. McDonald's, 2 Subways, a Starbucks. I forgot one of them, but the remarkable thing was that one of the chain restaurants was a Taco Time. I was like, you don't see a Taco Time too much. Even in, like, the U.S. at all, I feel like I've only ever seen Taco Time in, like, BC, and I've never seen anybody at them. I was like, man, Ketchikan, Alaska's got, like, one of the 8 Taco Times remaining in the world. Washington's got it's a Northwest thing. I honestly thought Taco Time was made in, like, Saskatoon and was barely hanging on. I've never heard anybody be like, I love Taco Time. Oh, dude, we're going to Pacific Center. We gotta eat at the Taco Time. What's up with no Taco Bells in Vancouver? I told you, I'm sick of people talking shit about Vancouver, okay? I just had to deal with it for 7 days on a cruise. Not to mention today, everybody woke up, turned on their cell phones because we finally had data because we were back in civilization. There were 2 Amber Alerts in a row. The whole morning, the ship was just going, brrr. Everybody you knew as soon as they turned their phone on because their phone went, brrr. Burp. And then everybody was like, oh my God. Okay, I don't want to make light of this situation because it's still ongoing, right? But we're in Vancouver, And everybody on the cruise ship that got an emergency alert on their phone that said, hey, there's like an active shooter situation in Langley. And I understand that people are not from here, but they were kind of like freaking out. They're like, oh my God, we didn't know this kind of stuff could like happen here. And I was like, relax. Langley is literally like an hour and a half away from where you are right now. And also, you're on a damn cruise ship. You got nothing to worry about, right? You're going to just enjoy the breakfast. Like, you're going to be fine. You're not going to accidentally, like if you're from Mount Vernon, Illinois, and I've only recently learned that there was a Mount Vernon, Illinois, because there was a dude on the cruise who, whenever they were like, hey, where are you guys from? He would go, Mount Vernon, Illinois. But anyway, that's like the 6th Mount Vernon I've ever heard of, but he was very proud of he had civic pride, which, you know, is fine. But you're not, if you're from out of town, you're not going to get in an Uber and be like, hey, take me to the Marriott, and they're going to drive you to like downtown Langley. That's not going to happen. I promise you, you're going to be okay. People were going off on Vancouver, man. There's also another, so we had a 4-hour-long train trip, like just around this frontier village in Alaska, kind of. And on the whole train trip, there was just another Canadian guy who was like talking to the Americans on the train. And he was like, they're trying to get socialized dental care passed in Canada. All I got to say is I'm glad I'm not 18 and entering the workforce right now, because I'd be paying for everybody's dental care. I was like, hey, shithead, you're 70 years old. I'm going to be paying for your dental care, idiot. What are you complaining about? You're old as hell. Not to mention, you probably spend like $3,000 a year at the dentist. Literally, you're getting free dental care, and you're like, I'm glad I'm not a kid. This country's going, you're getting free shit, man. Chill out. I have to tell you, so she got nervous on the ship, which makes sense because she's so young. But like one of the things that was annoying on the cruise is sometimes like the baby would cry. And then, like, a child would walk by and, like, look at the baby, like, ooh, baby's crying. I was like, that was you, like, 3 years ago. I'm not going to say idiot because I'm talking about, like, children here. I'm, like, literally, like, in 2017, this is what you sounded like. And now you're walking by with, like, a soft serve ice cream cone being like, why is that baby crying? You were crying. Like, the world is exactly the same as it was when you were still crying. So, like, don't give me this look like, oh, why is that baby crying? I don't know. Why were you crying in 2018? This is literally when, like, God of War came out. We haven't even had the sequel yet because he just got dunked on. True. So true. But she only wanted Kate to hold her, like, the whole trip, which is rough because, like, even when it's a baby, like, you know, it starts to get those slow twitch muscle fibers getting like real sore, right? So we were leaving dinner one night and I was like, can daddy pick you up? She was very upset. She said, no daddy. And then she said, no, like any daddy. And if it hadn't been so funny, it might have broken my heart. But I was mostly just impressed that she created like a novel sentence that actually got like a meaning across. I think she means she doesn't like daddy ever, which is just obviously false because she likes me when my wife is not around. But what she said instead was, I don't like anybody who's a dad. I was honestly not offended. I was like, that's an incredible sentence. Like, I was not flattered, obviously, but I was like, okay, mostly I'm just impressed at her verbal development, honestly. And now she's been using that a lot, you know? I'll be like, what do you want for lunch? French fries? And she'll be like, no, like French fries. No, like any French fries. And I'm like, you literally ate French fries yesterday. What do you mean, don't like any French fries? Like, all you've eaten are French fries. It just is nonsense. The thing that you're saying doesn't make any coherent sense. I've been with you almost every minute of your life so far. The sentences you're saying just they're not coherent with who you are as a person. Let her gaslight? I guess she is girl bossing. She was definitely girl bossing at breakfast this morning. When I looked at the menu and said, what do you want to eat? She said muffin, and then there were no muffins on the menu. But I gotta tell you, when the server came by, he said, "What does the baby want?" Well, they're contractually obligated to say, "What will the princess have this morning?" And I feel bad for that. I want to tell them that they don't have to do that, but I'm sure that they probably are like, "I'd happily do it just to not get yelled at," which is fine. But either way, he said, "What will our princess have this morning?" And I said, "Is it possible you could get me a chocolate chip muffin?" And he said, "Very good, sir." And wouldn't you know it, before my order that was actually on the menu arrived, this dude was back with the chocolate chip muffin. I don't even know where the hell he got it, but he brought it down, and you know, I guess maybe went up to the buffet to get it. I guess it's all probably goes to the same kitchen or something. I don't know. So off the secret, man, it was probably his lunch. It did have his name on it. Disney cruises are based like that. I said it, I'm not comfortable with being treated like that. And most people say that when they're yelled at, but I'm like, I'm not comfortable being treated like that nicely. I definitely did get the vibe that like if you were nice to the cruise staff, and like I think if you told them that you killed a person, not on the boat, because they'd have to report that, but I think if you were like, if you went to one of the ports and you committed murder, and then when you were in the lounge later that night, you were like, you know, I killed a guy on land today. When we were ashore, I committed murder. They would be like, very good, sir. I won't tell if you don't. I think they would cover for it. I don't think they would report it. Unless you were a jerk to them beforehand, in which case maybe, I guess. But I really did get that vibe, which is not how it should be, but it felt nice. No, I didn't kill anybody when I was ashore. You'd hear the populations of the towns that we were in. There was nobody to see, much less, like, you know, injure. I do want to know, though, does anybody work in the travel and tourism industry? Is there, like, a database where you can tell me the wage of a server on the Disney Cruise Line? There's no database. There's no repository. There's no way that our server was being paid $2.75 an hour plus tips. Not possible. They were not people who were kidnapped on the ship. They're not ex-convicts. Don't just guess and say minimum wage, dude. I'm curious. Less than you think their room and board is included? But what they live in the office though. That shouldn't count. Like, hold on. Let me see here. Employees earn on average $58,500 annually, or $28 per hour, which is 12% lower than the national salary average of $66,000 per year. It's an interesting, I mean, like that salary is pretty good for wait staff, for sure, I would say. But also, you literally, like the guy, and this is maybe like, what do you mean plus room and board? They live in the office, man. You want them to pay rent on their damn room on the boat? It doesn't make any sense. It's like when you get invited to like a media event and they're like, oh, the flight's free. And you're like, oh, thanks. I've always wanted to go to Baltimore in January. That sounds like it's a real destination for me right now. It's like, I'm not saying necessarily it's low or it's high, but like they're literally working like 18-hour days. Like we ate dinner. We had the 5:45 dinner slot because we had a child. It's very early, don't get me wrong. But the same dude is doing the 8:45 dinner slot. Then I go to breakfast at 7:30 a.m. They got the dude who was my waiter. He's slinging out hash browns behind the buffet. He's like, good morning, Mr. Ryan. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You were in a suit the last time I saw you. That was only like 9 hours ago, and you've done 12 hours of work since then. Then it's like lunchtime, and he's the dude that's handing out the cutlery. And I'm like, do you ever get a break while the thing is at sea? Like, it's crazy. Probably not. Well, I mean, you're right. They literally can't leave work. But then there was a part of me that was also like, I mean, he doesn't even have Wi-Fi, right? Like, so what's he going to do anyway? Honestly, I should have gotten the job like halfway through the cruise just to distract me from playing my damn British crosswords app. By the way, I'm so, and not to punch down on the United States of America, but I will say I am happy to be back in a country where I've never seen a Let's Go Brandon bumper sticker. I was not aware. I knew that it was like a thing. I didn't know that they were on like 1 in 12 cars. I would like to express my sympathies to the citizens of the United States for being immersed in this environment. I always thought it was like something you'd like poke fun at a little bit. You'd be like, but then when I was there, I was like, oh, this is kind of like you would like drive past the house that would have like a Let's Go Brandon bumper sticker on the house, and then a flag on a flagpole that said, don't blame me, I voted for the other guy. And I was like, you know what? This just seems like kind of a neighborhood where things seem inhospitable right now between the neighbors, to be honest. Can I tell you another great shirt I saw amidst all the college football sweatshirts and Super Bowl champion hoodies from like literally the year 2009? Congratulations to the Arizona Cardinals for winning the 2008 AFC Championship. It was probably the NFC. I'd like to apologize for the joke not landing right for the real NFL diehards out there. Either way, another great shirt I saw. May the forces be with you, and it was the Star Wars font, but camo color. I was like, that was day one. So that dude packed that shirt and was like, day one, I'm busting out the nice shirt. May the forces be with you, with the camo text. And I was like, you know what? Okay. I'm going to keep my mouth shut until I'm safe in my house, and then I'm going to poke a little bit of fun at that the first stream that I run right away when I come back. Oh, man. I'm not going to say anything to your face, obviously. That's insanity. There's unlimited bacon, but no games on the cruise. They don't want you to have Wi-Fi on the cruise, because then you might not, go to the activities that they have on the cruise, where they can also, and I say this cynically, even though I had a great time, where they upsell you a little bit. If they give you Wi-Fi, you might not go to, the Disney animation class where they teach you how to draw Pluto, and then at the end of it they sell you like a Pluto plushie or something like that. Would you rather unlimited bacon or no games, or unlimited games but no bacon? Here's what I'll say to you, the same thing I said to my wife. I would love it if they just, on an airplane sometimes they have those horrible touchscreen games, but you can play with other people on the flight. I would love if they added that to the app that they made you get to like maneuver around the ship and figure out where things go. Like if I could have just played chess against whoever was in room 8055, I would have loved that, man. I think we would have had a great time. I could have made a friend. Yeah, but instead they were just trying to get me to go to these weird seminars that were like, we have the highest quality diamonds on board the cruise ship. I'd be like, really? With the highest quality diamonds? You want to buy good diamonds, you got to do it on a cruise ship? I'm not going to an hour-long class about buying a diamond pendant on the cruise ship. It's crazy. I refuse to believe that the best jewelry is on a cruise ship. It just doesn't make sense. Feels good to be honest. If I'm being real with you, I'm happy to be home, even though I also had a great time on vacation. It feels nice to have the fat pipe of data hooked up again, though. Let me tell you. To be able to, like, I said this in my Discord with like other streamers. You've heard of them? They live in Canada. I said, Justin said to me, while you were gone, you missed everything. And I said, I didn't have data for 5 of 7 days. You could tell me anything happened, and I would actually believe you. If you told me like the big one happened in the Pacific Northwest while I was gone, I would be like, I have no choice, but I'm a captive audience. I've got no choice but to believe you. While you were gone, we all turned anti-vax. What the hell? It's like you were on the cruise with me. I don't know if any of the other people on the cruise were anti-vax. They just talked in what I would describe as sort of an anti-vax fashion sometimes. And maybe also dressed in an anti-vax fashion, which is to say having a shirt that said, I'm not going to take the vax. I'm on a sushi diet. I shush if I eat it. Honestly, pretty good joke. Can I tell you, while we were in Ketchikan, Alaska, I saw some incredible tourist trap t-shirts. For example, there's one with a bear, and he's eating the whole pizza. They got a lot of bears in Ketchikan, Alaska. Apparently, they rip open the garbage cans to eat the food. So the bear's eating the pizza, and then it says, yeah, I'm into fitness. fitting this whole pizza in my mouth in Ketchikan, Alaska. And I was like, that's a good one. I've never heard that one before. I didn't know you could just take Reader's Digest jokes and then put in the city that you're in underneath it. And it could be like both a joke and also like, check it out, I'm flexing. I went to the salmon capital of the world. And there were a lot of bear themed t-shirts. There was like a bear eating, like he had like a shoe coming out of his mouth and it said, please send more tourists. The last ones were delicious in Ketchikan, Alaska. They got a real nifty sort of organization going on over there. Why is this shit making me laugh? I was going on. I think Kate was sick of me by the time we got out of the stores because every piece of clothing was like a meme. Like every shirt was just like a pun on like moose or deer. You know, my deer got this shirt for me in Ketchikan, Alaska, and then it's like a deer that's a woman because it has lipstick on and shit like that. And I was like, this is incredible. Every single one of these jokes is like it's a 10 out of 10. It's nice, wholesome fun. I'm seeing double 4 seals. It's like I'm in Ketchikan, Alaska. Did they have a conservative section at the tourist trap stores? Okay, I actually forgot about this until you asked me. I didn't see anything like that. Although I did see a shirt in one of the stores that was like an eagle, but it had Trump's hair. But then at the store where I bought beer and again was shocked to be carded as a 33-year-old man with gray ear hair, they had 2 fake $1 bills like taped to the cash register. One of which had like a 25-year-old photo of Hillary Clinton looking crazy. And one of them was like a 35-year-old photo of Bill Clinton with a reference to the Monica Lewinsky scandal on it. And I was like, all right. I would just like this Alaskan brewing Kolsch, please. I'm not from your country. I'm just a small town Canadian. I'm not familiar with your big city ways in Ketchikan, Alaska, and how steeped everything appears to be in politics, even though I'm just trying to purchase 6 beers at your cash register. In Ketchikan, Alaska. That joke will work for a bit. Dude, can I also tell you this? I don't think this makes me a bad person. I think it makes me easily content in life. You know what felt amazing? Is getting off the cruise ship and hearing all these families of 12 be like, oh, and then once we get our bags, we got to get a taxi. Then we got to take a taxi to the airport. We fly out at 2:30, and then we connect in George Bush International Airport in Houston, and then we have to catch another flight to Virginia. And I was like, man, we got out, got our bags, got in our car, and just drove home. I think I took a shower. Like, as soon as we walked in the door, I took a shower. I was probably out. These people were only like halfway to the airport, man. It was incredible. That's like their payback for any time there would be like 6 people in a room on the ship. Someone would say OH, and then like everybody else in the room would go IO. Like, I didn't realize there was like an Ohio State like audio indicator to you could see it, right? I didn't know any of this stuff, man. I feel like I learned a lot about the United States of America by being on a cruise that started in Vancouver. But as an Ohioan, I love hearing that. As a Canadian, I'd like to congratulate the Buckeyes on winning the 2005 BCS Fajita Bowl, as I learned and was reminded of several times throughout my voyage. Okay. I'll summon an even larger mouse. Josh, why, by the way, no? Why are you in my chat talking shit? In the group chat, people might not believe this. In the group chat, we're pogging. Everybody's saying, send photos. Oh, wow. By the way, can you believe that we have a group chat with this guy for, not Josh, but a mutual friend of ours? Can you believe we have a group chat with a guy who I was like, hey guys, I'm posting from Alaska right now. I'm on a cruise. And then he said, oh yeah, I'm in Tuscany, Italy right now. And he sent a photo of him chilling in like his private villa overlooking like the vineyards. I was like, I just thought I would He never thought to mention in the group chat, hey guys, I'm going to Italy. Instead, he just waited for me to be like, I'm in Alaska. And then he was like, check out my private villa in fucking Tuscany. He didn't mention it at all. He was just talking in the group chat. And then, you know, on Wednesday, I was like, hey, I'm in Alaska. He was like, oh, cool. By the way, I forgot to mention this somehow. I'm in Tuscany. Okay. I do have to say, by the way, while we were on the cruise, don't make fun of me, by the way, for being 100 years old. While we were on the cruise, we played bingo. Just because it's something, honestly, you're just looking for something to do sometimes. You could win real money. So I was like, there's worse uses of 45 minutes between breakfast and lunch. But while we did bingo, the DJ at bingo, the host, was playing classic rock. Fine, I understand. The cruise is full of people that are middle-aged and older. She played Don't Stop Believing, and then, you know, let the crowd sing along for a little bit, and then tried to raise her own voice so that she could get back to the bingo, but the crowd would not let her get back to the bingo. They just kept a cappellaing the rest of Don't Stop Believing, which is probably my least favorite song in existence because I hate hearing people sing along to it. So I was already like, this is like tailor-made to kind of irritate me. And then right after that, she followed up with Sweet Caroline. And I was like, oh, man. You didn't have to do that. Yes. In case you're wondering, did they say bop, bop, bop? They did indeed. I have it on good authority that good times have never felt so good. So good. So good. Apparently. So-called free thinkers when Sweet Caroline comes on. I don't know, man. The sing-alongers, I guess I just got to remind myself, when I ask myself, like, why do people do this? The answer is legitimately just because they find it fun, and I have, like, a different brain. But whenever, like, people, like, we were on a Disney cruise, right? Part of Your World came on, or, like, Show You the World. Everybody was like, I immediately have to sing this. And I'm like, I know you know the song. I see your Mickey Mouse shirt. Ooh.
What song?
Aladdin, I Can Show You the World.
I can show you the world.
Life imitates life. what can you say? People who don't sing worry me. Well, don't worry. I'm just like sitting in my seat feeling superior to you because I'm like, I don't feel the need to signal to the rest of the people in the group that I'm aware of this song because everybody's aware of this song. It's like one of the most popular songs of the 90s for sure. I'm just smugly sitting in my seat going like, I don't know what word to use. I don't want to use smarter. Like, I don't know, more dignified, I suppose. And maybe some people would say that that's fine. They would say, I don't want to be dignified. I'm having fun. It's my cruise. I can cry if I want to. Let people enjoy things. I didn't tell them to stop singing. They were definitely enjoying themselves. Man's ideal cruise is hundreds of silent bingo players. Well, I was just like, I already had pretty much my ideal cruise. By the way, incredible situation, incredible soul read on that hawk there, and yet we still win somehow because the badger's insane. It's not that I want silent bingo players. I was just like, why is this bingo taking so long? All you got to do is read out like 60 numbers so we can get a full card, mathematically speaking. But it's because we had to stop every 15 seconds so people could go, street lights, people, oh, wow. And I was like, I don't know. Without being rude, I was just kind of like, I've never heard this song before. Also, right after Sweet Caroline, the DJ said, I don't know what to play. And then somebody from behind me shouted, play Bon Jovi. And I was just like, oh, okay. It's that kind of, I see what's going on here. Did he win anything in bingo? I didn't win anything in bingo. Dan, have you ever been on a cruise? And I know that sounded like judgmental. I didn't mean it like that. Gorge is my stage. Thanks for the gifted subscriptions, by the way. Thank you. First time we played bingo, we bought the cheapest option just to participate. It was 3 paper cards per game, okay? Then we're sitting there. We see people come back to their seats. They have like these bespoke bingo iPads I've never seen before in my entire life. They have 24 cards per game. We say, well, we got no chance. Literally everybody that's sitting here has 8 times more chances per game than we do, okay? Second time we played bingo, we got one of the iPads. 24 cards per game. You don't even dab the numbers. The thing just plays itself. That time, I at least got to stand up once because I was one number away, which was a good time, okay? That was invigorating. I felt that people were like upset with me because I was close to winning bingo, and that's what I think you pay for. But then, we still didn't win, which is fine. It's the lottery. I understand. It's probability. There's a lot of people that are there. But then, so you gotta save 3 for the T-Rex. You distracted me. It's not my fault in the slightest. So the last time we go to bingo, they gotta give away the mega jackpot, right? It's like $80. We got 2 tablets, 48 cards per game times 4 games. We're thinking, we're sitting up there, you know, feeling pretty good about ourselves. Like, we got a pretty good chance. Then we saw people come in back. Like, one dude came back. He sat by himself. He had 6 tablets. This dude had like 150... Hold on, I'm a genius. He had like 150 cards per game. You're like, how am I going to be... It's like when you, in Tarkov, you run into like the dude with the laser pointer on his gun and like Ninja Turtle armor. You're sitting there with like a Taz. See, I remember the name of some stuff in that. I was in 9th grade. I was on a cruise. I'll take Titanic for 500. I don't even understand. I mean, I'm familiar with the format of the joke. I just sort of don't understand its usage here. I don't know. Honestly, it hit a little different, you know, having a kid on a cruise. I think if you are a kid on a cruise, like especially a high schooler, it could be pretty easy to get bored. Having a young baby on the cruise, not having to cook or clean or like do anything like that, that was kind of sick. I took 3 kids under 3 on a plane to Georgia, and it was hell. Dude, that's why I have family next to us, because you sit at the same table for every dinner. Family next to us talking so much shit about Vancouver. They're like, oh, our flight to Virginia is so long tonight. I was like, enjoy that. Piece of crap. Oh, man. I was like, oh, Vancouver sucks. On the other hand, if you lived here, you'd be home by now. Enjoy Sterling. It was 2 17-hour flights away and then a 3-hour drive. Have fun. No, I don't have booba enabled. I told you, because I respect women. I don't really respect men that much. Myself included. Based? No, that's not true. I respect men. Honestly, I mean, this is now, like, it's hater technology, right? Like, I apologize again if this is too real. There were some situations. I'm not saying... Okay, wait, let's balance this, okay? Let's make this a balanced situation. We were in line to take a photo with somebody. I don't know who it was. It was like Minnie Mouse or Daisy Duck or something like that. Okay, in front of us, mom, by herself, like no other adults, but 3 kids. 2 twins, both wearing a Spider-Man outfit, looked to be around the age of 4 or 5. One kid, I would say maybe 11. 11-year-old kid just trying to mind his own business. He's using his iPad or something like that. The 2 kids in the Spider-Man outfit kicking the shit out of the 11-year-old. The kid's just sitting on the ground on his iPad. 2 Spider-Mans coming up, just like maliciously like kicking him in the side as hard as they could. And then his mom is like, hey, Goose, stop that. And she grabbed the kid like right where his shoulder meets his neck. And the Spider-Man kid fell to the ground like a soccer player, started clutching his neck. And she went, I didn't hurt your neck. And then she was like, okay, like maybe that's a little too far. So she like picked him up and like started consoling him on the bench. And then I swear to you, the kid said, I want daddy. And she said, daddy's getting drinks right now. Saddest little, I don't even know, micro story of the trip. This mom struggling to keep her 3 sons together could really use some help. And then, oh, sorry, dad's at the bar right now. It's like 11 a.m. on a Wednesday, but it's cruise season, baby. I don't know if maybe they have an arrangement. Maybe tomorrow the dad was in the same situation and the mom was getting hammered, okay? But anyway, regardless. But there were also a lot of situations where I was particularly, you see like an old man who just ask his wife a question. He'd be like, you know, what are we doing for lunch today? She'd be like, I don't know, Daryl. I had a lot of sympathy in those situations. Like, Kate and I talked about it a lot, where we were like, why are these people so stressed out, man? You're literally on every need is taken care of you on this boat right now. And then this dude just asks like a question, probably just to, not even to wonder about what he's having for lunch, but just to like talk with his family. And then the reply he gets is steeped in so much resentment. I'm not saying he didn't do something in 1995 to deserve it. I'm just saying. I don't know, Daryl. What was the environmental impact of the trip? I don't know, probably like 15 tons of CO2 per traveler released into the atmosphere, if I had to guess. That's just a back of the napkin calculation. I'm sure it was very high. It's not good for the environment. That's a given. What do you expect me to say? I'm not gonna hit you with any copium. I'm just gonna own it. It sucks. I wish it was like an EV. I wish they plugged that shit in instead of like filling it up with old dinosaurs. Can't they just like what? Once you get moving in the water, don't you just have inertia? Like, why does it take so much gas to move the boat? Like, don't you just need to give it a little push and then an object in motion stays in motion? Water is heavy? Yeah, but you're on top of it. I'm being willfully ignorant to distract from the environmental impact, okay? You ever hear of friction? You ever hear of, like, treading water? If water is so heavy, how come I can stay in it forever without having to stop swimming? Or something. I don't really know what I'm talking about. You don't move when you tread water? I move my arms and my legs. I suppose you're speaking about the position of my body? I suppose the position of my body on like a longitude and latitude level doesn't change, but I'm engaging in motion, I would say. Why don't they just use a big magnet? You know, that would be kind of sick. Imagine if you had like a really, really, this is not how magnets work, is it? Because I was like, you couldn't have like a Looney Tunes magnet because it would fuck up the ecosystem, I'm sure. Like, you'd be pulling like buildings down and stuff like that. But what if you had a really, really like narrow magnetic beam and you just pointed it directly at the ship? Like literally at the stern, as we call it. I mean the aft or whatever. I don't know. Hold on, this is incredible. Yeah, like a beam of magnets. And everyone laughs and says, dumb idea. I meant this tweet when I said it. I know it's like a 1950s comedian, I guess from 1980s, because in 1950s this shit wouldn't make any sense. But like, this is not to be used for justification for every bad idea. But you know that the dude who invented airbags had to pitch that to like 20 companies. There's no way he went into the first company and was like, hey, you know all these people are dying, smashing their heads against the steering wheel in car accidents. What if we just put a balloon inside of the steering wheel that instantly inflated in a fraction of a second when it detected that the car got in an accident? You know his CEO is going, how are we going to do that shit, Harry Houdini? We're going to make, so let me get this straight. We're going to put a bag in the steering wheel that instantly inflates and cushions the, like, that's a Looney Tunes idea. Your car crashes and a pillow comes out of the steering wheel? That's madness. He had to run that by like 10 companies first before he found somebody that was willing to give him like, you know, $5,000 to do a trial run or something like that. What do you attach the magnet to? What are you talking about? You attach it to the like a street light or something. I don't understand the problem. Yeah, like a tree. You can't just bury it in the land or cement. Cement's really strong. That shit's not going to break. They gave us some facts about the ship. They said the ship weighs 90 million pounds, which obviously is like heavy. It doesn't seem that heavy. it's like, you know, I'm not speaking like in a human sense. I mean, for a ship, 90 million pounds. What kind of magnet would you need to pull that 800 nautical miles in 3 days. What kind of magnet would you need for that? It's a magnet I would not want to swallow, I'll tell you that much, because I think that it would probably do some damage to your insides. But by the way, what's your breakfast buffet selection of choice? Do you go to the bespoke omelet bar? I'm not that kind of guy. I'm more of like let me get 2 hash browns, like the McDonald's style potato patties. Let me get, I'll be honest, if we're cruising, let me get 3-4 slices of bacon. Let me get maybe like 2 of the mini croissants. And I'll add one weird thing. Like not weird, but like one of the bespoke items. Sometimes they'll be like, check it out, today's special. We got cinnamon rolls. We got a chocolate chip pancakes. We got a breakfast sandwich. I'll add one of those. I don't like to wait on a buffet. I like to grab something from the buffet and sit down immediately. And then think about what I'm going to get for seconds. But then like after I finish the plate, I'm like, actually I'm good. Actually I'm okay. And then I just leave. This is not you're going to think that this is a joke. It's not a joke. The one time I got seconds at the buffet was yesterday. I finished my meal and said, you know what? I didn't get any marinated cabbage. And then I went back to the salad bar area and had a plate of marinated cabbage. Just like vinegar-based coleslaw. I'm not a buffet dessert person either. I left the buffet and I got some soft serve. But I only needed I saw people who are eating soft serve every day. You don't need to eat soft serve 7 days in a row. I'm not trying to like backseat people's vacation. I'm just like, I ate soft serve once on the last day and was like, I don't need to eat soft serve again for 10 years. Like, it tastes fine. It tastes nice, but like, if I got soft serve on Wednesday, I'm not getting soft serve on Thursday. Like, it's just overly decadent, man. I'm not shaming. It's just more like asking a question, like, what's wrong with you? Or whatever. Like, you have, like, when people, like, filled their plates with, like, slow-cooked barbecue short ribs, I was like, live it up. When I saw people, like, double fisting, like, 1 chocolate and 1 vanilla soft serve cone, I was like, you know they make the damn swirl for a reason. Like, what are you doing? What's the reason for the swirl? If you want a little chocolate and a little vanilla, they'll make you a swirl so you can have 1 of each. I'm loading the game as we speak. I was like 2 minutes late because I got this Tommy Bahama Mickey Mouse Disney Cruise shirt that I put on for the first time.
I love that.
But when it's buttoned up,
Are you wearing it?
Yeah, I'm wearing it right now.
I'm going to look right now, man.
When it's buttoned up, I look a little bit too, I don't even know. It looks different. But when the distance between the top and the second button is so high that I instantly become like a Miami porn producer.
Ooh, my man looking drippy.
Watch this. Watch it. If you're still watching, I don't know how low the camera goes. Just give it a sec.
If you unbutton that, you are definitely directing like.
Look at this.
Big titties 32.
I got the Kramer triangle of chest hair
I got
right
one
here.
of those shirts.
So I gotta take it up to the top. But who buttons a Hawaiian shirt up to the top? You know who?
I think this was just a wardrobe choice. Like I feel like maybe
I got short shorts on too. It's true. I can't deny, though I sometimes wish to. I am wearing an unusual shirt today. Thank you for noticing. I really appreciate it. I gotta be honest, it's quite comfortable. Would I recommend it? Yeah, if you shave your chest or you don't have a lot of chest hair especially, I think you could roll top button down and you could feel pretty good about yourself. Can you stand up and show the whole shirt? No. Because I'll tell you why. I'm not gonna bury the lead. I also have my shirt tucked into a pair of short shorts right now, and I don't want you to make fun of me, quite frankly. I don't want you to be like, wow, look at this guy's outfit. Is he part of Gen Z? Shouldn't you be wearing millennial clothes? Like a jersey of your favorite NFL quarterback? Long khaki pants that you have to roll up the cuffs on, and then Argyle socks pulled up to the top of your calves? How short are the short shorts? Hold on. I mean, I was sitting down. I'm going to say they're 8 inches above the knee. I'm 6'8", so you can do the math.
Took my bike to the lake. Brought my shovel, brought my rake. Took my boy to the swing. Let him swing, let them ring. Bought my friends Italian beef. Make them fart and make them queef. Abraham Lincoln was governor here. Only a steel man can be enough. You know what I'm talking about? Sufjan Stevens?